Social media is changing the geopolitical nature of the world. Yet there's not even going to be a peep about creative in social this entire week. Not an award, not a conversation.
I day trade attention and build businesses. Legacy is greater than currency. I'm a purebred entrepreneur for real. Like, documented.
I'm Thomas Ramsey. I'm the CEO and founder of Neurons, which is an applied neuroscience company where we use neuroscience and AI to predict consumer behavior. 50% of all ads are presenting the brand in the bottom right corner.
Yep.
4% maximum are paying attention to that brand.
Yep.
So that means that there's a huge loss if you're doing brand building for that ad. That means that about half of all ads will actually miss the target.
I got good news for you. I don't need your AI tools. 99% are missing it. To your point, you're just talking about the creative variable.
Yeah.
The thing that fascinates me is everybody in this town for this whole week assumes that the ads are being seen. Before you even get into the part of the creative fucking it up, there's the ads are being run and people aren't seeing them.
No.
Is there a way that you can build an AI bot that can instill common sense into anybody here this week, please? Because the level of common sense that's been completely and utterly eliminated from the ad world is fascinating. Good stuff.
Hi there, how are you?
Both of us were lining up getting McFlurry, a free McFlurry, and then a McDonald's client walked up and he said, Resy, it's like, oh, you judged last year this McDonald's award, the internal awards. Then it's like, oh, what are you all doing here? So we had a McDonald's meeting. I was like, come to the Vayner board, bring all your CMOs. Come.
Good. Next time, don't invite them, hit them over the head and carry them to the boat.
There.
My guy. What's up, my dude? How are you?
Great day so far.
Yeah, it's been good. Listen, I just want to thank everybody. I know there's like 7,000 things that everybody could be doing, and so we appreciate you being here. And obviously for everybody in this room, the AI thing is a very big deal because it's one of those technologies that is kind of like oxygen. It's here and it's not going anywhere, and it's going to continue to be a big factor in our universe. Just where we are right now, knowing that this is the base, that this is just the beginning. This is Ask Jeeves. What if all these things that happen in culture are actually incredibly mappable? What's amazing is if you know how to be a prompt engineer and put into the query things, you could start mapping things that have historically been magic or gray or creative, and you're starting to make it black and white. That changes the world. Like Jack has to come up with his stuff, but like if you put in, these are the 700 last top 100 songs that have hit in culture, what is the common thread, or what should I title it? We are starting to really get into a place that changes the world we've all lived in. It's that big. It's not like it can make a picture for me. It's the predictive AI stuff is bananas. Thank you for coming, and hope to see you a bunch this week. Thank you, everyone. It's like super fun to get like the intellectual motors going.
Oh, I know.
Right?
See you walking through. Part of me, baby girl, I need a better view. Love the way you move, what you gotta prove. Clearly you the center of attention in the room. Got 'em like, got 'em thinking you my boo.
So we're continuing with interviews here live from Cannes Lions 2023. What have you seen happen time and time again at the Unilevers, at the Coca-Colas, at the Samsungs? What's the mistake that you saw in Web 1 from big brands? Web 2 with social and mobile, and now what you see in Web 3. What's the common cliche mistake?
One of the ones that comes to mind is really navigating the tension between dealing with the existing business and future-proofing your business for new generations, for new technologies. I remember at the very beginning, it took a lot of time for companies to think that digital was a thing. And then when they embrace it, then kind of destroy it because it becomes, everybody does the same thing, and then you lose the creativity. So you embrace, new technologies to do exactly the same thing that you were doing before, instead of thinking, how do I embrace a new technology to do much more.
Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary.
Is Lee coming? Not going speakers.
I'm trying to grow up.
Hello, lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, thank you for having us on your boat.
I'm thrilled.
Tanya caught up with the CEO of creative agency VaynerMedia and asked what AI means for the sector.
You know, it's not that I'm looking to disrupt, I'm looking to inspire us as an industry to become dramatically more consumer-centric.
You talk about AI there, and of course that's one of the most dominant themes here at the festival.
Yes.
There are those who think that it will amplify human creativity,
yes,
and those who think it will stop it.
Yes.
What's your view?
My intuition is amplify. The concept of doomsdaying new technologies is something that humans are very good at. People like to push against new things. They go into fear. What's going to be bad? Even in the last couple of years, it's been obvious to me that this is an enhancer. Of course, there's going to be things that come along with it that aren't ideal, but the reality is that I don't see this killing the human creative spirit. We still have to input, and I think that's going to be a big factor. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, Vayner Nation, we're continuing on this podcast live from Cannes Lions 2023. I'm going to let my next guest introduce his full name and what he does, and we'll get right into it. My friend.
Hey, I'm Michael Wirich, and I'm the co-founder of MindSpa. What we spotted early on is that music can affect and impact people emotionally and could even heal kind of certain situations that modern medicine couldn't touch. 20-25 minutes, you can have a very deep impact on a person's state of mind, on the way they sleep, on their stress level.
A thing that I think is a little bit easier for a human to understand is, are they sleeping well? You know, you mentioned it earlier. You know, a lot of people know me as like, I go hard and I'm who I am. But the reality is I've never compromised on sleep. I will sleep 10 hours a day if that's what I listen to my body very well. This Saturday, if I have to sleep 14 hours to like make up for it, like I've never thought like not sleeping is going to make me successful. It's more while I'm awake, I need to be productive and make shit happen.
Sleep is the big one, right? In terms of the study and in terms of specifically how we recorded the sounds. Like nature, when you get lost in that and you get it in 3D sound, like your mind is tricked to believe you're somewhere out there. It just helps you fall into sleep.
You give me a cricket and an owl, and I'll show you me sleeping within 30 seconds.
Appreciate you.
Happy to do it. This would be enough for me.
Oh yeah.
Like give me anything. The only thing I can't sleep to is dead silence.
You keep it natural, stay in your bag like you wearing satchels. Hey, baby, you a godsend, just missing the sandals. But still, you ain't missing much. Put your hands on my back, that's a different touch. Put your on my plate, I don't skip the lunch. I don't skip the brunch, not the dinner neither. And we hella close, not a centimeter. Getting in.
Where do you see the brand's place in TikTok as it has so quickly evolved?
Making content that actually is seen. To continue to focus on making actual TikToks instead of making ads they distribute on TikTok. So our framework on social media creative is called SOC, Strategic Organic Content. That S is everything. Like, do you actually know the creative strategy? You don't need influencers in every post, and making product the star is a good idea. Like, do you know what's actually working? Because this industry in this town this week is just hyper over the top on the subjective nature of commercials versus the strategic creative practice of social. I think that's the chasm. Brands need to get very serious of like knowing how to make ads on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Like first, what can work on a YouTube short? What can work on a TikTok? And then they need to make as many of those as possible for the lowest cost as possible to win on as much relevance as they possibly can. Pleasure, brother. Take care of yourself.
Please welcome now to the stage the CEO and co-founder of VaynerMedia, Gary Vaynerchuk.
The biggest brands in the world that visit here spend all their time thinking about tomorrow and yesterday, and because they don't have the ability to actually know how to market today, aka social media creative and media spends, what do? They spend all their money doing M&A to buy brands that actually do today. There's not a person sitting here that I'm looking at that doesn't realize there's some attention on social. I literally am having conversations with people already this week about how social media should be regulated because it's so powerful. Social media is changing the geopolitical nature of the world. And we are talking about that, yet there's not even gonna be a peep about creative in social this entire week. Not an award, not a conversation. Our industry, which is phenomenal, is incredible about being excited about yesterday, and yet sitting right here in the middle, we have brands that are being built every day within social, creative, and media, and we continue to disregard it. It is time for media and creative to come back together like it was in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, so that we no longer do this. And we stay accountable as agencies, and we actually start delivering for the brands that pay us, and start making content that people want, not what we want to make subjectively in a boardroom. Thank you. Thank you. How will the advertising industry be different 12 months from now? If you told me 14 years later I'd have to be talking about taking social media seriously, I would have laughed you out of the room. So for me in 12 months, I really don't expect too much. The people that are watching this right now, I'm gonna actually speak to you. I'm gonna put this down. Aren't you tired of doing work that you don't care about, that you know nobody's gonna see? Like, isn't it time for you to actually take the reins and stop complaining about working in an institution that doesn't let you do your thing? If it doesn't let you do your thing, go find one that does, or go do it yourself. How is it gonna change in 12 months? Another 100, 200 great creative people are gonna leave our industry because we're not letting them do the right thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we're so excited for this panel. Let me hand you over to Tanya, who's going to be our terrific moderator.
Can you remember when you spotted your ability, or when you knew you had the ability to spot trends culturally and technologically?
Trends, I don't like to look at them from that perspective, because then that means you're just a trend hunter. I'm magnetized to things that are synonymous with my interests as they are spawning and growing from itty bitty to big biggies. Those folks that are in that same frequency are going to naturally gravitate to itty bitties as they become big biggies. You are going to gravitate to that before it becomes a trend.
And Gary, what about your foresight into innovation? I think it started when you were 3.
YouTube came out, it was about 7-8 weeks old, and I started making wine videos. I'd never been in front of the camera. I never thought of myself as someone that humans would know. I was running a business for my family. When YouTube sold to Google for $1.7 billion, that felt like $1 trillion. That was an unheard of number. And it just hit me so hard, I'm like, wait a minute, I've got something. I have an intuition, a curiosity, a different way that I look at things that makes me understand what a lot of people are gonna be into before they're even realizing they're into it. And that was the first time I thought I had something different, and I've honed that skill. But the best part of the skill is it's grounded in genuine curiosity and the liking of people.
GaryVee in the house.
Gary, Will, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have the best night.
Hey, bro.
Really, every time.
Never heard of you, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm here by coincidence.
Yes.
I was inspired of your words. I'm in complete agreement with you. I go to these evenings a lot.
Yes.
Almost always it's crap.
That's
but
right.
This time,
I'm very humbled. It's very nice of you to come up and say that. It means a lot to me.
That was good.
It means a lot to me. What's your name again, sir?
My name is not important.
It's important to me.
Mark.
Such a pleasure. Please.
I had never heard of you.
So I'm humbled.
I think it was so good, and I will do my best in my agency to get a bit of your spirit.
That's very nice of you. I'm very humbled by your words.
Oh, no.
That's very nice. I'm telling you how I feel.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
I got floaters in my eyeball, coasters by the shot glass, smoking let my mind fall. Plenty roaches, no ass, stepping on the critters, jitters going through my spine. Should be used to a state of a poor man's mind. It's just PB no J, Kool-Aid no sugar, boiling the bath, water for warm showers in winter. Work cooking, she clean. Mama was a magician, she switched it and turned the tub to a washing machine. Air drying and clothes, hanging up with my woes. Enemies was befriending me, laughing about all my lows, but it's on.